Hi everyone, trade online show for today, the 4th of March, 2024. It's great to have your company as we head into yet another great month. Look, another good week for us in the background. We'll talk about that in a little while. My name is Paul Bottrell, and I'm the founder of Actions to Wealth and Online Trading Profits.
Welcome to the show, guys. My name's Ash Bull. I'm a professional investor and trader.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Adam Harris. I'm a chief market analyst and also, yes, professional trader and investor.
Today, we're going to take you through the market, but first, we're going to give you the chance to win some money. And if you want to win some money, what you've got to do is get into this Zoom right now, because in a little while, we're going to ask the people in the Zoom to let us know they're ready. And when they're ready, we're going to pick one of them out, and one of them will have a chance to go for this week's jackpot. This week's jackpot is $1,000. This week's jackpot is $1,000. All you've got to do is get into the Zoom and put your name on the list and hope that your name pops out, and you get a chance to either pick a trade and play for the entire jackpot, or steal one of our trades and pay for half the jackpot. All you've got to do is get into the Zoom. And to be honest, she's quiet. She's quiet on the Zoom. So, hey, Crystal, welcome in, and not just yet, not far away though. Good to see you in the room. She's quiet in the room, so you'll have every chance to make some money. When we place trades today, we'll go around and take a trade each, and with those trades, we'll stay in the market until this time next Monday when we'll remove them. We'll invite an attendee to come in and to pick a trade, and if that trade beats our 3 trades, they will win the jackpot. We will change the position sizing a little bit, 0.1 for Forex, 0.01 for commodities, and 1.00 for indices. It'll be $1,000 this week. Very quickly, guys, thoughts on the market this week. What's your thoughts, Ash?
I think we are in a little bit of a transition period, and we have been for a little while. Last week, we had manufacturing data from America, which sent the dollar tanking and everything else to the upside. But it's not really about manufacturing in the United States. It's much more about the services data. And I think the ISM services data this week may change the environment again. Because the numbers have been pretty solid and they've been robust. So decent numbers from ISM non-manufacturing this week, and possibly we need the IFP, the NFP to go in the same way. I think may well see a little bit of dollar strength, but overall, the market sentiment is definitely convinced that the Fed are about to change interest rates. That pushes silver and gold, and of course we saw Adam's trade, the Nasdaq, kind of push to the upside. But gold and silver is starting to really shape up to be very, very positive looking trades. Everything else, I think the question's still out, because we're talking about currency versus currency, and central bank versus central bank.
Adam, over to you.
Okay, so here's the thing. I agree with most of everything Ash said. I'm going to be a little bit controversial here. I actually think there's a possibility of us getting rate hikes. I think there's some inflation that isn't under control. And actually, usually, obviously, rate cuts is to stimulate the economies, which don't need to be stimulated right now. So I just don't think that's really going to happen. But it is interesting. I'm getting mixed signals. The charts look as though they're anticipating dollar weakness. And Friday, we have non-farm payroll. And I do think, exactly as Ash has said, I think we're in for a bit of something. You know, the markets are trying to pick a direction. And I think this week will hopefully help it. But that is, if you're sensing it on edge, that's why.
And later on the show, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think the market could be just one you've got to keep an eye on right now. We will get into that in a bit more detail. But first, before we do that, let's do our trades for today. Now, guys, if you're on the Zoom, and look, the Zoom numbers are a bit lower than we've seen recently. There's going to be somebody in that Zoom get $1,000. $1,000. That's worth $1,000. If you're on the Zoom and you want your name to go in that with a chance to win $1,000, can you put your name in the chat for us, please? And we'll have Kim pull them out. Hey, Gary, welcome in. We'll have Kim pull them out, and we will put them in there. So if you are in the Zoom, if you can put your name into the chat, we will put you in the list. Hey, Gary, hey, Alan. Mark, welcome along, Mark. If you're on, I would imagine that Merlin is in there as well. Let's get into our trades. First up today, Ash, what are you looking at?
So I'm looking again at the Aussie. I think I'm toying between the Aussie dollar short or the Aussie yen short. And I dislike the Aussie yen as a short on the whole. For a few reasons, but I'm going to stick with it this week. I think a couple of weeks ago we did actually hear one of the members of the Bank of Japan stating that the yield curve control could start to come back into play. That did send the yen to the upside, and obviously we're all waiting really for some value in the yen. It's not the best place, there's no question. I would like to see this particular area broken down. What I do quite like is the fact that on the weekly chart, we can see that there is this horizontal level here that's been tested here and rejected here. Not a hugely favourable bar. It was quite bearish towards the end, but it did sort of bounce back as well on Friday. But I'm looking just for a little bit of weakness in this area. So I'm going to go with the Aussie yen short this week, mates, with the Aussie dollar just sat in the back of my mind and hoping that that's not going to frustrate me if that's the one to go for. But Aussie yen short for this week.
Aussie yen short this week for you. That is great, Ash. And Adam, you're on a big couple of weeks. We've seen that account. I said last week we've seen that account. I think we were down 3% for the year 2 weeks ago. I think we might have made 13 or 14% last week, another 13 or 14% this week. We will have a quick look at those trades in the account history in a few seconds. What are you doing this week, Adam? I'm sure there's a few people at home watching the recording that will be following this trade.
Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen quickly, and I'm going to go through very quickly this. So one of the things that I want to do is put into the chat my entire watch list, guys. So I'm going to share with you.
Adam, can you do that? Can you do that later? Adam, now, can we just place our trade? We'll come back for the watch list, okay? You're going to go, you've changed it in our chat. You can go with what you've picked.
Kiwi yen. I want to go long on Kiwi yen. I think the yen pairs are generally sliding to the upside. I think the Kiwi is quite strong at the moment. It had a big correction. I think it's got room to the upside. I want to go with Kiwi yen.
Fantastic. Look, we're going to do my trade in a second. Before we do, we're just going to show Rose the trades from last week so she can see that her trade was not a winner. And you can see here the trades. Adam's trade was close for $472 in profit. I think Euro Swiss, which I think was Simon, 65. Ash, 33, the smallest winner, but I think he's in a big run of winners. He's won several weeks in a row from what I remember. And Rose's trade was down $59. So overall, a good winning week for us, but no money for Rose to give away. Now, I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to qualify my trade pretty carefully when I do that today. So I'm going to go long XTI. I'm going to go long oil. And I'm going to encourage you guys. Look, I'm going to go long oil because we've got a nice break of a horizontal level. We've got some overall some nice higher highs and higher lows coming through here. We've seen this break. I'm not surprised to see a bit of a pullback today. I think there's a bit of space for oil to get up around the mid $80 mark. And I'll come back and talk about why that's significant, sort of somewhere around there for a target. I wouldn't be surprised to see us somewhere around there about a week from now. And I think oil is, for me, and I'll talk about this a bit later on, it's the most significant chart to watch this week. I'll be watching oil really closely. I'm really pleased to see a little bit of pullback in this price, but I do think there's a little bit for it to go through before it's not a long for mine. Look, if you're in this trade and you want to follow me in, then make sure you get a stop loss below these two moving averages. I won't be doing this because I can't in the competition, but somewhere around the 77.50 mark, have a stop loss, because if it gets down there, we're wrong. At that stage, take your losses and move on. Don't give any more back. And if it goes up, I've got a target. If you want to come out on the $84 mark, you are okay. But for me, I'm just a long WTI. Now, let's get straight to Ash with the education for Ash, please.
No problem at all. Okay, so this week we're going to look at... Yep.
Sorry, Ash. I just want to say again, look, guys, we've got quite a lot of people in the Zoom. Only a few of them put their names in. Now, if you want $1,000, you've got to go to the trouble to type your name in. If you type your name in the box, you have every chance of making it. So put your name in the box so we know you're there. We're going after this cross. Thanks, Johan. After this cross, we are going to go to Kim and we're going to draw somebody out. So if you want a chance to win it, thanks, Gary. And are you in here? Can you put your name in there? I'm sure you want another chance. You've already had a one, so you can get in there again. There we go. Let's get these names in so Kim can get them in. Now over to Ash for the education.
Okay, great stuff. So we're going to talk this week about the rising three troughs. and where we kind of see that the rising three troughs, we want to see. It's really a range bound kind of scenario where we start to see kind of bounces up, and when the market swings down, we see one trough here, and then another one here. And as it comes up, we can see that the price action up here needs to be kind of broken through. So we can see the second trough kind of comes up, but the third trough has to break through this level. Now, these don't often, or in fact, they don't often break out, and they don't often tend to be bullish. But what we're really kind of looking at is a scenario where the upside is starting to extend a little bit, but maybe bashing its head. But mainly, we're really looking at the fact that the downside just doesn't come down quite as far when it comes down. So the confirmation is the break of the highest peak during the three troughs, and you can see that the second trough kind of caused this peak here. So it has to break through that level to give us the idea that we're going to get a bull move in the market. When there is a bearish market, the run to the upside doesn't tend to have quite as much validity. So even though it's suggesting a break and a move forward, we don't really have kind of a measured move on this one because it depends on market conditions. In a bear trend, don't expect it to go too far. In a bull trend, it can well indicate a bottoming pattern and see some upside, some more substantial upside come from that particular move.
Cheers. Can we ready through the wheel of names? We've got some names come in. Can we ready through the wheel of names? We want to go quick if you've got them. Others we're going to add them for education. Here we go, Kim. Ready for wheel of names?
Hold on. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay.
Now, whoever Kim picks out of the wheel of names. So after you, Kim.
Can you please release the screen for me?
Adam, can you release the screen?
Thank you. Hold on. Share my screen. Let me spin it. That would be Mark D.
Look at that, Mark D. I know he's in the room. I know Mark D is in the room. Merlin will be in as well. Mark D, in a few minutes, we're going to come to you. We're going to put you on camera. We're going to ask you whether you want to pick your own trade or steal one of the trades of myself, Ashes, or Adams. If you do, it'll cause carnage, I know, for me. Now, think about it. I don't have a second trade, and if I did, one of the other guys already taken it. So we will, Mark, we'll invite you on in a few minutes. Adam, let's do your education piece, please.
Okay. So what makes us, I want you to take note, please, that what makes this week unusual is the last few weeks, the market has not really offered necessarily some really a huge list of opportunities, but right now, this week, I see just such a lot of potential on these charts, and I want to run you through them. So first of all, I'm bullish on almost all of them. What I'm liking on the daily is the general structure of the charts. The trends are very, very nice and healthy. The S&P here looking very, very good. There might be retracements during the week, but overall, my expectation is that they will continue. The trends are very nice and healthy. I've also noticed here on euro dollar, for example, we've broken this downward trend here. We've had our very first pullback over here in a nice bullish candle, and I know that it is trying to go higher. It's very similar when I look on sterling. Sterling is looking really good. It's approaching this downward sloping trend. It looks very nice and bullish in this uptrend. And so there's a bit of weaker US dollar on that looks really good. When I look at the yen pairs, they all have beautiful trends, very nice strong wave rider setups here as well. Very nice pullbacks, very nice bullish setups here. The yen pair is looking very good. There's Kiwi yen, I said as well, that I spoke about today. So there's definitely a pattern across. The yen crosses super, super strong. So the yen is weakening across the board, and I think there's some great opportunities there. Crude oil was also on my list here. Looks really good. I love the fact that we've just broken through resistance, so it's not overextended. It's been consolidated. It's cooped up. Now it's broken free. And then finally, of course, we have things such as gold and silver. So a lot of these are supported, which is interesting to me, are supported by a weaker dollar. One last one, which I really like the look of here, which is interesting to me, was pound Swissy. Pound CAD, which is actually looks as though it's building up to a very strong bullish breakout pattern here. The MACD looks nice and healthy. It could still take another couple of weeks to get there, but it is on my watch list for a breakout to the upside, which actually means the pound is relatively strong at the moment. That is it from me, Paul.
Cheers, Adam. Thank you very much. I'm going to bring us back to the oil chart I was having a look at a few minutes ago and talk a little bit about why I think it's so important this week. And look, I've said a couple of times in this show that it's It's not the risk you know about that's a problem. It's the risk you don't know about that's a problem. It's the risk you don't think about that's a problem. And right now, for me, markets have heavily priced in interest rate cuts. And interest rate cuts, I'm a fan. I think interest rate cuts are brilliant. But what I also think is that to get interest rate cuts, we need to see inflation falling and heading back towards central banks' target rates. And I think it's very unlikely that's going to happen while oil is going up. The cost of oil impacts the cost of a lot of things. So if this oil price pops back down to $78, $76, I think inflation's a chance of being under control for this next report. Here's the thing. If inflation goes up, there's no rate cuts, and rate cuts are priced in, and they've got to be priced out again. I think we'll see some large and pretty exciting reversals. And remember, with all this stuff, right, you don't have to be right. When you're right, make some money. When you're wrong, lose 1%, that's fine. For me, I'll be watching that inflation number out of the US Tuesday week pretty closely and seeing where it takes this market. And what's more, I'll be watching inflation expectations as we go into that. Because if inflation expectations get up around 3.1% again, 3.2, that'll be a bit of a problem for rate cuts. If it's 3.1, 3.2 and it overshoots, that puts rate cuts on hold for a little while. And that does require repricing of this market because this market does have them priced in. So I will watch this with some real interest. And I might be completely wrong. If I'm wrong, I won't do anything. But if I'm right, I'll be ready. Right, yeah, let's have a chat with Mark. Mark, welcome into the show. Nice to have you with us. Mark, we're going to bring you on camera and on mic. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Good, thanks, mate. Bit of echo you're in, I'm afraid, mate. Do you have a couple of? Can you ask Merlin to mute?
Sure.
I think we're picking up
All
something
good.
anyway. Mark, what's your plan? You've got a choice here. You can pick a trade of your own, and if you win, you win $1,000, or you can steal one of our trades, and if you win, you win $500. Which one are you going to do today?
Well, I don't know how to trade, so I'm gonna steal.
Right. Who are you
Why
going to
not? Why not?
Honestly, that's why we do it, market. So anyone can come in. Let us know a thing about trading. You can come and make $500. It's a pretty good deal. Whose trade are you going to steal?
Yours, Paul.
Love it. Well done, Mark.
It's one of the things about my oil trade. The truth is that it's likely to be either the best or the worst by a fairly long way. I don't think oil's going to sit in the middle. I think it'll be gone and it'll be a big winner for you, or it's just going to get smashed. It'll be all over. So I think it's a really good choice, Mark. I think you're a real chance. And I'm going to have to find a way to hedge that to some degree in the account. So I'm going to give some thought to another. And thank you very much for coming on, Mark. We will watch that. We will let you know how your trade goes next week. $500 if WTI is the top trade that we have. We have got time for sports bets. Ash, what do you got?
Sports bet this week. Do you know what? I was so close last week. So close. It was the last few minutes. I had a draw for Chelsea versus Leeds, and right in the last moment, Chelsea managed to snatch it, which I wasn't particularly happy about, of course. So this week I'm going to go with a bit of a double. Tottenham always score goals. Now, they're playing Aston Villa on the weekend, and Aston Villa always score goals. They are both going to want to win this game, and I did toy up going for the draw, but the draw burnt me last week. So I'm just going to go for the 2.5 goals, over 2.5 goals, which plays around about 5-2 on, so 2-5 against. And I'm going to double that up with West Ham beating beating Burnley. The Hammers are sort of back. They got their talisman back as well. Mark Bowen. So I think that they've Jared Bowen. So I think that they've got a pretty good chance of extending their winning streak. Burnley are in terrible form. So double for me this week, mate. 2.5 goals plus in the Aston Villa versus Tottenham game, doubled up with West Ham beating Burnley. And a combination of that is probably going to be, it's going to be over a 1-to-1 bet, so probably about 1.2 to 1 or something like that.
Nice, mate. Nice. Really cool. I'm still madly looking at trades in the background, having a look at some charts here as we do this. I'm going to come to I'm going to come to my sports bet, and I'll come back and pick my alternate trade in just 1 second. I think I'm going to have to go long XBR, but we'll have a look at that. Let me share screen. Look, do you want to turn the sports bets? I'm 5 weeks in a row on the sports bets, and I'm going to stay with something conservative. I've been a lot more conservative in my sports bets than usual for the last 5 weeks. I've won 5 weeks in a row. This week, have you got my TAB screen up? Yep.
Yeah, we got it.
This week I had Australia beat New Zealand in the cricket test at $1.40, and they did that, and they're playing again on Friday. New Zealand has lost another bowler. The opening bat who's injured is not back. And if I'm honest, I just don't think they're quite good enough at the moment to beat that Australian side who are pretty flash. The weather forecast is 5 days of sunshine. I'm going to take Australia to beat New Zealand at $1.46 to 1 and see if I can get to 6 weeks in a row on my sports bet. I'm going to take a bit of a punt here. I'm going to go XBR long for my trade. And I'm going to, if oil tanks, well, our account's going to get hurt a little bit, but we'll take the risk game. I will take XBR. Mark has got my trade. Well done, Mark. Good on you. Right, guys. I think that's us for the day. Thank you very much for joining us on the Learn to Trade online show. Simon Williams away this week, had some stuff he had to attend to. Most likely back next week, but he'll be back as soon as he possibly can be back. In the meantime, either myself or another guest will hold the fort for trades. I've got Adam Long NZ Yen. I've got Ash Long Aussie Yen.
No, I'm short Aussie Yen. So actually, Adam and I are hedging each other out a bit.
That's good. Short Aussie Yen, like that. We've got Mark Long XTI, and I will be long XBR. So the two oils. As I just look to see if I can hedge him a little bit as well. Rightio. Have a good week. Remember, look after your money. Take care. We'll be back next Monday. If you followed our trades last week, you made more than 10%. If you followed our trades the week before, you made more than 10%. If you're going to follow our trades, follow them at proper risk and use a stop loss, even though we don't, just because we're in a competition and playing. Yeah. If we were trading for real, there'd be a stop loss in every one of these trades, guaranteed. Hope you're enjoying the show. Hope you're learning. Hope you're getting some information out of it. All the best to Mark. Great to see you guys in the room, and we'll be back next Monday, same time. The following Monday, live from Bali.
Wait.
Not next Monday, but the Monday after, we are live from Bali. Might do a little bonus for that one, eh? See you next week. Bye. Take care. Look after yourselves.